Programming on WCS-TV is brought to you in part by a donation from the Middle Tennessee Dr. Pepper Bottling Company, serving McMinnville and Warren County since 1938.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Sit Down with the Director. I'm Robin Phillips and I'm here again today with our Director of Schools, Mr. Bobby Cox. Bobby,
hello.
How are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. We are here today on the next to the last day of school for the first semester.
Right.
So everybody's winding up and getting ready for the holidays.
Right.
But we need to make sure we let everybody know what's going on now and also plan for next semester and the new year.
All right.
So I guess one thing we would like to make sure everybody knows about is our weather plans for inclement weather. So far so good, but it could come at any time, as we know. So could you tell us a little bit about what parents need to know about that?
Well, they just need to make sure that on those weather days, we've got numerous ways to notify the public. Social media, we have a Twitter account and our Facebook account. We'll also be putting that out on the local news, the radio locally, but also 2, 4, and 5 Nashville stations will pick that up as well. So numerous ways to make that call, and we usually try to make that as soon as we can. We try to make it early, 5:30, 6 o'clock at least, before buses get on the road. But sometimes weather moves in a little bit later, but they need to, on those days that it's a possibility, they just need to stay tuned. And we try to keep those calls to a minimum. We don't like to call at 5 o'clock in the morning and wake everybody up in the whole county to determine whether they're school or not. But we also try to do that as well to let them know. So hopefully, knock on wood, we won't have a rough winter, but we'll let everybody know if there is weather pending as quickly as we can.
Okay, and also that would be, obviously, we're in school and it appears that we're going to be out of school. The same would be true.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
And I do believe that would also remind us that we need to make sure, I think everyone in the registration packet had a weather plan that they were supposed to have maybe discussed with their student, what their student would do, whether they would ride the bus, stay at school, ride with someone else. And if that, hopefully all those have been turned in, but if they haven't, then you might need to talk to your student over the break and make sure everybody's on the same page about what that would look like, so that they will know what to do should school be let out early.
Right. They just need to check with their child's teacher or the principal at the school, and they should be able to help them out with any of that information.
Okay. And also a reminder that when school is called off, then normally the school activities for that day would also be called up. As would that be practices? And then
yes, we try to cancel practices and games. If sometimes on a rare occasion, the high school, they fall under a little bit different guideline with that, because there are opportunities that they have to, meet their schedule. So if the main roads are clear and we can play and there's not any danger, then high school may, play those games. But if it's on our campus, then we're going to try to cancel all activities on our campuses.
Okay. Great, and so with that in mind, I guess everybody's looking for some snow in the new year.
Probably so. Maybe we'll get a little bit. We always like to get a little.
Not too much.
Not too much.
Okay. Also, I think that we wanted to make another announcement about the schedule coming back to school after the holidays, that we do have a PD day on January the 2nd, but no students will come back on that day. They will come back on the 3rd.
Correct, right. We dismiss a 2-hour day on the 16th, this Friday, and then students will come back on the 3rd. Teachers will report for in-service on the 2nd, and students will come back for their first full day, regular time, regular schedule on January 3rd.
Okay, and for any of those students who are changing classes, then that would be the semester break will be now. They should be finished with finals or any other end of course tests or anything at the end, and they'll start back in their new schedule
Right.
in January.
Right. And, kind of along with that, it'd be good to mention we've not been having, but the state has been having some trouble with their student management system, which is Skyward for us, and the hosting of that. So it's been down the last couple of days. So we may have to push grades back, a couple of days as well. So we'll get that information out to parents, but it's no fault of ours. It's the state hosting. Everything's good on our end. It's just that the system's been down from the state level. So we'll work on that, and that may cause a couple of days of delay for teachers to get the grades in and students, but it won't make any difference with the end of the semester. The semester ends on the 16th.
Okay, so grades should be finalized, and they should probably be able to see those grades online
Right.
before they come back.
Hopefully,
in
yes.
January. Hopefully, okay. Speaking of report cards and grades,
All right.
that was a great
Segue there, wasn't it?
segue in. We, I think, did the state report card just came out this week,
All right.
and I think you wanted to maybe explain a little bit about changes there, what that looks like, what that really means for us as a district.
Right. Well, most people know that the report card comes out every year. It is a little bit later this year because our data is a little bit later this year across the state due to the testing issues that we had last year. So third graders through eighth graders did not have any type of assessment last year. We were able to test K through 2, and we were able to test our end of course areas at the high school. So our report card is largely made up of high school only. It mirrors the high school because there are more students in the high school than there are in K through 2. So those items that are on the report card are a little bit sparse this year. Our composites are 1s. Which is not really acceptable for us, but we're used to having 4s and 5s in those areas. But since it is largely from our high school, our composites are 1s, and our high school scores mirror the state scores. We had a new test this year, had been working toward that. The rate of passage and the cut scores from the state level are advanced a little bit more this year. So the state scores don't look as well, and then district scores don't look as well either. So it'll take some time. Doesn't mean students aren't learning in the classroom. Doesn't mean they're learning any less. It means we're dealing with new standards, new tests, new grade scales, things of that type. And the majority of our students didn't test. So we'll see how. We're not making excuses for that. That's something that it is what it is. But when you see that on the report card, we want everybody to know what that means. Also, information on the report card: our graduation rate is up, went up 2 full percentage points to 93.8%. I believe is our graduation rate now. With a regular diploma, it was 91% last year, so that was good. ACT scores are showing a little bit of improvement. The number of students that are hitting those 4 benchmarks has improved. So we're moving forward in those areas, and once we get the test and the standards under our belt, then we'll move forward on the other areas as well. So, but I think Joe will put up in the PowerPoint on the screen once it's live, the link that you can go, and if you go to the State Department of Education website, you can hit that link as well.
Okay.
So.
And speaking of tests, so we will go back to a test this year, and that will be a paper pencil test
Paper
this
pencil
year?
for K through 8, and then the high school will also do paper pencil, but there is an option for online, and then next year it will be online.
Okay.
So.
And if anybody's interested in those test dates or those test date windows, that information is on our website.
Yes,
front
if you
page
go
of the
to,
website.
it's there. It's numerous places. If you go to the resources page and go down to parents or assessments, you can find all of that information that you need there for the new test, the new 10 Ready test.
Okay, great. There is lots of information on the website.
A plethora of information.
I would certainly advise folks if they want to
Yes.
know what's going on in the school district or anything about our district or our schools to check out the
Yes.
website because they can get lots of information there.
Oh, yes.
Okay, we did also want to talk a little bit about Durham bus service. They, of course, were the bus service that was involved in the tragedy in Chattanooga before Thanksgiving. And as they are also our bus service here, we did want to check in with them and have them come. They appeared at the board meeting and were there to answer questions from the school board or anyone who wanted to ask questions. And I'm sure that's also aired if anybody wants to see that. But I know it was also in the paper today. I thought maybe you would want to tell us a little bit more about that.
Sure.
And what we know and what we know about Durham.
Yeah, and I think it's important for everybody to understand that, you know, the accident that happened in Chattanooga is very much a tragedy. We don't want that to happen anywhere, Warren County or any other place where children are on buses. But Durham is a very professional service. That's their number one job. That's all they do is transport and run school buses. You know, they've taken ownership of that. Video from their CEO talks about that and some of the safety enhancements that they're going to put in place, which are enhanced advanced safety guidelines. They're also hiring from their upper level management level a safety director that reports directly to the CEO. So that's very important. And I think it's important for our folks to know that most of our buses are driven by local people who work for Durham School Services and who have driven buses in the past for us and who know the roads and know what they're doing. Now, you know, there can always, from any day, there could be an accident, and we realize that when you put 55 buses on the road, it's no different than you driving your car to the store. You could have an accident. We hope that never happens, but we feel like we've put into place the best safety training that we can get, the best safety enhancements on the buses, and we'll continue to do that and continue to make sure safety is job one, and Durham will do that too, and I have full confidence in what they will do, and heart goes out to those folks in Chattanooga.
And I think Tanya Rader is a local
She is
girl,
our manager,
and our a local woman.
Yes,
She and I are the same age.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
but she grew up here, and she's in charge of Durham service
Yes,
here,
she is.
as well as I think that most of the
Yes.
other leadership as well.
Yes.
So we do know that these folks are people that we all know, and their safety is really not in question as far as an unknown maybe.
Yeah, you know, everybody wants to make sure that, you know, we get to school safe, we get home safe every day, and that's what they want to do as well.
And that's one reason we have our weather plans,
That's
so that we
exactly
can make
right.
sure that our buses, which are obviously bigger and bulkier, can get children home safely
Exactly.
and to school safely. Okay, well, we appreciate the information you shared today.
Sure.
I think that that can wrap it up, and we'll wish everybody a happy holidays.
Yeah, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
Programming on WCS-TV is made possible in part by a donation from Security Federal Savings Bank, serving its customers with 3 convenient Warren County locations.
Programming on WCS-TV Channel 180 is made possible in part through donations from your McMinnville State Farm agents Lee Holland, Norm Barnes, Neil Helton, and Bill Zeckman.